Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. This is Behind the Scopes LLC. My partner Fred, Rob Reese here, and we want to thank you so much. We hit over 100,000. I think we're 112,000 now subscribers. You guys are all awesome. Appreciate it. Our show today, we're going to rehash what we did this week on Tuesday. Tuesday, we had a celebration of Houston Center's 60-year here. Here's our group that was at the occasion. All these people enjoyed their time with us, and we enjoyed their time with us. So it was a lot of fun. You can see Jack. We're kind of doing a goofy shot, although I'm just kind of acting normal there. Fred is over there. He's modeling our shirt in the show, and there's Strickland and Stan, Shelly Alley, Veronica Holmes, the only former chief that came down and came out to celebrate with us. We did advise the Houston Center people, the chief and then the deputy. Chief took my call, I think, once or twice. He rolled me over to the deputy, and I left a message for the deputy. He never got back to me. Oh, well, I guess times have changed. I know they could have made it. We were managers, too, and we know how we can make these kind of events. And they could have had it at Houston Center. I know in my time, and I know in Jerry Strickland's time, and even Dorothy's time, we would have bent over backwards to have the 60th milestone at Houston Center, and we would have invited the media and friends and family to come in and join us. AF would have been there, and along with air traffic and anybody else that was around. Maybe some of the credit union people that were there, and maybe some of the daycare or anybody else that was involved with Houston Center. What do you think about that, Fred?
Tom Threadgill, the gentleman in the middle with the blue shirt.
No, that's Tom Lowry.
Thank you. Tom Lowry, the gentleman with the blue shirt in the middle, was the very first controller to walk into Houston Center when the doors opened 60 years ago. He is now 90.
He came down with his wife and joined us. Amazing, 90-year-old, and he had some very interesting comments to make. We gave the floor up to him, and I'm going to be posting that on our channel eventually when I get the time to get it edited down. What did you think about the whole event, Fred?
I thought it was a good selection of location. I impressed myself because I know that Kenny and Ziggy's is a place to go for a meal that you'll always remember. Yeah. Everything on the menu is delicious. Very creative, and if you can't understand how it's written, the waitresses are very cooperative, and they'll show you what that food is. I think I gained 3 pounds just having the lunch.
Oh yeah, man! I had that corned beef on rye, that big, huge piece of. I could only eat half of it. Huge sandwich. So the event was great, but at the end, it was terrible getting out of downtown Houston because, one, torrential downpours kept a lot of people from getting to their cars. I went to my car, got soaked, and I thought, I can give Fred my umbrella. And he came out and got it. And he was driving Tom and Joe around from up there, and his wife, Peggy, as you see right in front of me there. And then I made an unfortunate mistake of going clothing shopping next door at this haberdashery, and came out $700 and something lighter, but I got some nice clothes. Well, having said all that, we can move on here to.
Would you like to talk about the lady on I-45?
Oh yeah, okay. So not only were there torrential downpours, but traffic was backed up from when I got on 610 going north, or going north and then east. We're traveling cameras here. Apparently, this woman had some mental issues, and she ran into a truck purposely on I-45 north of Cypress Wood, got out of a car, got a chair, sat out in the middle of the freeway with a gun, and blocked traffic. Took me an extra 5 hours to get home. Took Fred at least another 6 hours. And everybody was wondering who was stopping the traffic, and that poor woman, why is she out there? Nobody's saying anything. How did that woman get a gun? She's got problems. How did that woman get a gun? Nobody even mentioned that. But I digress.
She tried to commit suicide, and she disappointed herself because the 18-wheeler didn't wipe her out. So that's where she pulled out the lawn chair and the gun, and spent
We lost our picture, Malcolm.
another
Yep.
4 hours as her daughter came out to talk to her. The negotiators were there talking to her. They finally talked her out of blowing her brains out. If I knew about it, I would have thrown $5 into it.
Fred.
Anyways,
Fred.
I would.
I'm shaking my head. We throw
Anyways.
$5 in to get another person out to help
Yes.
with the negotiations.
Yes, most definitely. And I hope she's doing well now.
Yeah, we keep her in our prayers. We'll keep her in our thoughts because that's one thing that we're not going to forget for a long time.
Yeah.
Everybody was
Concerned.
concerned, but we were also inconvenienced, let's say, for the day. People probably missed a lot of appointments. But anyway, let's move on to the show. There's one more thing I do want to tell you about. Houston, and actually Texas, is going to no more paper plates. So when they do that, I think that the plates on our vehicles are going to become very valuable to those who can't get the paper plates anymore. So what I did was I changed out the screws that hold the license plate in place to these particular headed screws that are very difficult to get off. And I might suggest you do the same thing before your plate ends up on somebody else's car that can't get a paper plate anymore. Because over 50% of paper plates that are traveling around Texas were illegal, and that's why they passed that law, no more paper plates. Can you imagine that all these paper plates that are out there, and they're illegal plates? Nobody knows who they are. If they get into an accident, they just take off and go without any accountability because they can't be found. So, that's strange, Fred. I'm going to give Fred and Malcolm a set or two of what I have. Maybe they can use them on theirs. So, let's continue along.
The 100th year.
Yeah, well, we just did. So part of that 60th year celebration was a 100-year celebration of ATC. That's right. We've been around for 100 years. And some of those people that were there, I'm not making any names, were there even before airplanes flew, like before the Wright brothers. So they were already making planes because they had foresaw that there would be a need for air traffic control even though there were no airplanes out there. So kudos to them.
Yes. You have to remember, air traffic controllers, it's like a civilian branch of the military. We have to be aware of the procedures, of the codes, of the maneuvers that those military airplanes are going to do when they take off, when they practice, or when they're going somewhere. And we have to share in the information. So we're not surprised to have them turning in front of commercial airplanes while we're working that traffic. We can't have the two of them get together. The military may join up in a group, but we don't want them joining up in a group of commercial airplanes.
Right, and we talked a little bit about the military operating airspace, the special use airspace that's out there last week. We showed you some pictures of aircraft and talked about how that special use airspace is designed for them to play their war games in, and you should not venture into it. Other special use airspace, they're launching rockets or they're launching military shells up over flight level 290, so you don't even want to fly over the top of them. It's all done for safety, and those things can be found out on NOTAMs with times that they're scheduled, or on a regular aeronautical chart. Those times are already published, and those charts are up to date all the time. In fact, they're so exacting that if you get caught with an old chart in your aircraft, even though you're not using it, you'll be fined, because they want to make sure, that's the FAA and their inspectors, that you are safe when you fly. Now, interesting things that have happened when people fly. Can you say close encounters of the third kind? Anybody? No? Unidentified flying objects have interacted with air traffic control and have been subject of interest and investigation for decades. We're going to kind of give you an overview surrounding these things. So Historical incidents like 1952 in Washington, multiple UFOs were detected on radar by ATC at Washington National Airport. With visual confirmation by pilots, the event prompted a significant military attention. In 1986, Japan Airlines Flight 1626 incident, a cargo flight over Alaska, reported encountering a large unidentified object which was also tracked by radar. What do you think, Fred? You think that they're out there? You have any stories about
I
that?
definitely agree. I've had two direct situations with flight crews, one coming up the East Coast, and he had a wingman coming up the East Coast following him. Well, it wasn't following him, it was right next to him off to the right. And he kept watching him. He tried descending and climbing, and it followed him around. And finally, just around Washington, D.C., this thing decided to get real close and cut across his nose to where the pilot had to dive and take evasive action to miss our friendly friend from afar. Another time, I had a military tanker going into McGuire Air Force Base. And as he's descending, he asked me about the traffic behind him. I told him I had no traffic. He says, well, I've got traffic behind me. And the aircraft was a tanker, so the supplier was in the tail looking out the back window and verifying that there was somebody out there. The aircraft stayed. The pilot tried to speed up. It sped up. He tried slowing down. It slowed down. Then finally he asked if he could turn around to see what it was. And had no one behind him, so I approved the turn. And he turned around, tried to go towards it, and he sped up. This thing would stay away from him. I think I even hear him rumbling outside.
Yes.
And
the gods are speaking.
yes, he sped up, he slowed down, and this probably went on for a good half an hour till finally he decided he had to return to his base at McGuire for refueling. So he turned back around, and then this thing proceeded to disappear. But I do believe, and if you've ever seen the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I would love to be alive when we do meet them and they land and come out to visit.
See, so Fred is definitely identifies as one of those that believe in these little green men. So.
Yes.
And working traffic when I was up in Limestone, Maine, we've definitely had people talking about seeing UFOs, and I was attributing to the Northern Lights because up there you can see the Aurora Borealis, and that is scary if you've never seen it, because the whole sky looks like it's on fire with this green fire. The first time I saw it was after the movie The Day After, which scared the daylights out of me. I thought for sure that we went to war. Here I am at a SAC base, and I'm looking at the Aurora Borealis, and I don't know what it is, and I'm calling up work, hey, what's going on out there? Just the Aurora Borealis. But the thing about extraterrestrials, it has definitely sparked debate as to whether there's evidence of extraterrestrial life also, secret military technology, or simply misidentified natural occurring events. No matter their origin, UFO sightings have left an indelible mark on both culture and science. They've inspired movies, books, heated discussion I've been parts of, also pushing scientists to investigate the boundaries of our knowledge. The stories that I'm going to continue with are the 10 most significant and intriguing encounters in history.
Well, I have one other story that fits in well. And I was working in New York in the process of transferring to Oklahoma City to our school. And the lady I was married to was a very New York lady, and she was not crazy about going to Oklahoma City. But a couple of days before we left, we were in the theater watching this movie of Close Encounters. And the spaceship lands, the doors open, and they come out. And I lean over to her and I said, "Isn't this incredible? I just wish I could be alive when we make first encounter." She leans over and says, "Don't you realize me going to Oklahoma City is the same thing?"
Oh my gosh. Well,
Yeah.
typical New Yorker, right? You go to Oklahoma City, you can't sleep because it's not noisy enough, right?
Yeah. Yeah, when we did get divorced, she complained that we did not travel enough.
Wow.
And I proceeded to say, if you look at this table, there are 8 tickets to New York over 12 months. There wasn't too much time that she was away from New York and her parents. And that's where she still is, and enjoying her close encounter.
Oh, wow. So, one of the top 10 events is the Roswell incident that's very well known, that in 1947, the Fort Worth Army Airfield, Major Marshall of Houma, Louisiana, he was holding a piece of material related to the Roswell incident. And this iconic incident captured a mysterious object that crashed near Roswell. It prompted official suspicion, worldwide widespread speculation that this was really a UFO. And they kind of brushed it under the carpet, saying that it was a weather balloon, and that made it even more suspicious because they had parts of it. They were showing like aluminum foil and some kind of sticks and things, but the individual that got to the scene first off said that that really wasn't what he saw. So that is still under investigation and really hasn't been put to bed. Then there was the Keith Arnold sighting in 1947. This particular sighting was just weeks before Roswell, and the pilot, Keith Arnold, reported seeing a 9-crescent-shaped object darting across the sky near Mount Rainier. Maybe one of these was a remnant of that, right? And just like he said, he described it as kind of like a saucer. So that's where our flying saucer came from, and it became the description of many, many more UFOs later on down the road. So much so that when people were faking these objects, they were taking pictures of flying saucers, throwing them in the air, so there wouldn't be any lines attached to it to make it look realistic. But of course, it's easy to find the fake photos, right? Then there's the Phoenix Lights in 1997. During that incident, we had thousands of people across the Phoenix, Arizona area reported seeing massive V-shaped formation of lights silently gliding through the sky. And eyewitnesses there described the event as eerie and unforgettable. Did anybody catch it on camera? I don't think so, but it's just written down in the history books as one of those things, right? And what the military said on that, they attributed the phenomena to flares dropped during a training exercise. People are very skeptical about that. These eyewitnesses, they didn't see flares. They actually saw something gliding silently across the sky. You make the choice on what you think it is. And you can look all these up on the internet if you want and find out exactly what I'm talking about. It's not top secret information. Then there was Rendlesham Forest incident in the 80s. This particular incident in 1980, there was they named it like Britain's Roswell. So over several nights, not just one night, but several nights in December, U.S. Air Force personnel stationed at Royal Army Air Force in Woodbridge reported seeing strange lights and encountering metallic triangular objects in the forest. How about that? Investigators documented the unusual radiation and impressions that were left on the ground, adding a layer of the physical evidence rarely seen in UFO sightings. So, could this physical evidence be real? Could there really be aliens out there? Fred believes it.
I mean,
Jury's kind of out for me, but we can't be so small-minded that in this vast, vast space that there are others out there that have similar qualities to us and that they visit us on occasion. There's the tic-tac-toe or tic-tac UFO incident in 2004. We just had some pictures up of that flying across the screen. Could you bring those black and whites up again with that object, like this one right here? So a fighter jet chases down a military tic-tac looking device, and that was in 2004, and they released these photos. The radar and visual reports described the aircraft's rapid movements and lack of visual propulsion. So they couldn't see anything coming out of the rear, they didn't have any props, they couldn't see any jets. So how was this thing moving along? Then there was actual military footage that was released to the public, and it led to an ongoing investigation at the Pentagon. Pilots test. Oh, speaking of, I guess they don't like me talking about these. Must be the aliens. Did you hear that lightning and thunder? I mean, hear the thunder? But anyway, that is well documented, and the whole country. Oh, hold on a second. Somebody's alarm is going off. Is that me? It must be. I'll be right back, y'all. Fred, entertain the folks while I'm gone, please.
Okay, I'll do a little soft show.
Can you show them our poster?
Yes. What, do we have the screen on? Okay. To commemorate our 60th anniversary at Houston, we had a poster that everybody signed. Oh, no, it's backwards. Well, that says 60 on it, and everybody signed to commemorate the fact that they were there for that anniversary. And, you know, we talked so much about the evolution of how much things have changed from the start of the facility opening up, and the equipment that was used to the equipment that we had when we finally left. And now there's even more modern equipment, with a lot more equipment coming to change that, because there's that many more aircraft up there and more coming. Boeing didn't stop building, and Airbus didn't stop building. 5 and 10 years from now, we're going to have new aircraft that you didn't even imagine now. There's a new design called a blended wing, and that will allow aircraft to go faster, hold as many people or more, and we're also have developed the aspect of supersonic flying without the sonic boom, which means you'll have aircraft, and they're being built now, that will be able to go supersonic over the U.S., and you can go from New York to L.A. in less than 3 hours.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. We talked about that, I think, last week or the week before, and we also talked about that blended wing that Boeing has already has orders for the blended wing. So I want to get back to our UFO stories.
Okay.
We had, let me think now. We'll do the Westfall incident, and that happened down in Australia, and that was one of the most puzzling of UFO cases. Over 200 students and staff at Westfall High School in Melbourne witnessed a saucer-shaped aircraft land and take off in a nearby field. That left a huge impact on witnesses and the local community, sparking decades of speculation and investigation. Kind of like the other school-based UFO sightings, such as Zimbabwe's aerial school encounter, and the Westfall incident stands out for its large number of credible observers. Then there's the Battle of Los Angeles in 1942. During World War II, they had a complete panic across Los Angeles when aircraft guns fired at unidentified objects in the night sky. That was known as the Battle of Los Angeles. The incident unfolded just months after Pearl Harbor, and people thought that the United States was getting attacked. Imagine. The media captured the chaos, and there are iconic photos that I didn't download yet, They showed the searchlights covering the mysterious shapes, and officials later blamed a weather balloon and war nerves. Imagine that, a weather balloon. Let me see. There was a weather balloon incident not too shortly, about 2 years ago.
You got Chinese food with it.
That's right, and we actually had an aircraft shoot one of their weather balloons that traipsed all across our country, gathering maybe information, and then we finally shot it down.
Maybe that was a method of the Chinese delivering food.
Oh yeah, maybe it was a balloon dash instead of a door dash.
Yeah.
So another incident happened up at Shag Harbor in Nova Scotia in 1967. The authorities and the Canadian government officials launched a thorough investigation on that, and they searched for wreckage of a disclosing object that crashed into the waters off the coast. And many of the UFO cases in Sag Harbor incident, they were officially classified as UFOs by investigators. So there you have it. Somebody officially classified it by UFO. So what is UFO? Unidentified flying object. So if I throw my shoe across my neighbor's yard and he looks out and he sees something flying, isn't that a UFO if he doesn't recognize what it is?
You know, one of the aspects of these unexplained aircraft in the sky, as opposed to
A shoe.
crazy people that are against this country and want to try and do a terrorist activity. You know, that balloon could have had a couple of, people that were trying to sneak in and do something around the country. We had a lot of unfriendly people come into this country over the last 4 years.
And that reminds me of something.
And
Back during World War II, the Japanese actually launched balloons using the trade winds to come across to the United States. There goes my picture, Malcolm. They launched helium balloons to go across the ocean, and they were going to drop in the United States and blow things up, kind of like a terroristic move.
Yeah.
And we know that because they actually found evidence of these balloons on the West Coast. It was either in Seattle, Oregon, or California. So they actually did that. And here we had this other balloon come across and nobody took any action, although everybody was pointing it out to our officials. But let's move on. In November 2006, a United Airlines employee and pilots reported a disc-shaped object hovering over O'Hare International Airport, and the witnesses described the aircraft silently lingering there before shooting upward and leaving a clear hole in cloud cover. Now, I've seen aircraft go through clouds, and they don't make holes in the clouds. They just penetrate, and everything is sealed up behind them. So if this thing was going that fast, it had some kind of vacuum to pull that floating vapor up behind it. So there must have been something there. But of course, the FAA, our guys, they attributed that to weather phenomenon. Weather phenomenon. Okay. You know, air traffic control, we have our protocols for when there is something like that. When unidentified objects do appear on radar, controllers follow procedures that include verifying equipment, facility, contacting nearby aircraft, visual confirmation, notifying military authorities if needed.
Lots of pilots don't like reporting those things because a requirement of the report, they have to write the whole thing up, and right away somebody starts to investigate. Have they been drinking? Did they get enough sleep? Their credibility. And, your mother could have been flying that airplane, and, they could scrutinize various things and get critical of how she handled it. Yeah.
So, really, you don't want to be under that kind of scrutiny. Okay, you need to keep your integrity intact, so you just don't say anything, or you just talk to the people that are around you that have seen it. Do you remember when? Oh yeah, I remember that, and you let it go. So there have been some government programs and reports that have come out about UFOs. There's the famous one, Project Blue Book, that was from 1952 to 1969, and it was a U.S. Air Force program. They investigated reports, including those involving air traffic control. Then there was the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, that's a mouthful, AATP. And it's a more recent program studying UFOs, particularly those involving military aircraft and air traffic control data. Then there's UAP, UAP. It's the task force and the 2021 report. So the government established this task force to assess unidentified aerial phenomena in 2021. The report compiled data from military encounters and included our ATC radar and radio data. These reports, declassified, and they're declassified ATC and pilot reports, and you can probably get that with a FOIA, a Freedom of Information Act letter to the FAA or wherever you believe that data exists at. So
We worked with various controllers that, when they were in the military, they kept Project Blue Book, making entries in it and
Wow.
stuff. So they got to see the first lines of what these reports were like.
yeah, there was even a television show, I think it was called Project Blue Book. It was many years ago, and that kind of faded out. There were some stories on there that they never were able to prove, and then there were some stories on there they weren't able to disprove. So my conclusion on all this may be many of the sightings that are out there involving air traffic controllers can be explained through conventional means, and others do remain unexplained. And this is what fuels your interest and my interest in this. And the government continues to analyze efforts to identify UFOs and what they are and their impact on us. There are some people out there that believe our technology today comes from these UFOs that we haven't reported, and other people out there realize that maybe we are smart enough to develop our own technology this way. I mean, look what happened in Iran just recently. We dropped all those mothers of all bombs and completely destroyed a bunker that was over 290 feet on the concrete, rebar, and stone. And what a great job we did there. But there's the other side that says because we have unsubstantiated reports that maybe fissile material was moved out of there, and we didn't do such a good job. And we all know that person that made that claim was the Ayatollah. So you have one news saying one thing and another news giving you the facts during the press briefing of the President of the United States and during our Secretary of Defense briefing. You saw the pictures. If you hadn't, please go take a look. There ain't nothing coming back from that hole. Right, Fred?
I heard just the other day from a commentator that I respect very well that she swore we didn't land on the moon. And I did work on that project,
Yeah.
so I can verify we did land on the moon,
Yeah. Yeah.
and more than once. So, you know, who tells the truth and who, I don't know what glass she was looking through, but
Anything for entertainment, right? Anything
Yeah.
to keep people, salivating over what's the next thing. So if you're in one camp or the other camp, you'll believe what you want to believe, and you'll believe what you want to believe. And no matter what this says and that says, you're not going to change anybody's opinion. I see people posting on Facebook these ridiculous things. Why? It's not going to do anything. You're just going to alienate half of your friends, or less or more, depending. But I think that our show is starting to come to a close here. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to extend an opportunity for you to post something on our page, on our YouTube page, and let us know if there's anything of interest that you would like to hear. You want us to follow up on this UFO information, or maybe look more into the modernization of the air traffic control system. If you're a pilot out there, we'd love to hear your stories about your interaction with ATC. That could be fun. We would let you stand in an interview and tell us your stories, and if you have any pictures or radio or video, we'll post it up here for you. We'll give you credit for it, and we'd love to have you on, because we always love good hanger flying on Behind the Scope. Okay. Last week we had Rich Phillips in from Dubai, was that? And he kind of gave us a rundown on his interaction with a parcel UPS 747 that he helped bring back around, and at least got him close enough to the airport. You can see that on our channel in the not too distant future when we get that edited and up online. So I want to thank you all out there. I want to thank our editors, Ronnie and Larry Wimberly. They do a great job for us. I mean, they've really taken a large burden off of me. And thanks to Fred for being my partner in this. And
4th of July.
what about it?
It's next weekend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Next weekend, 4th of July. I believe that I'm going to try to be on. I'll put a note on the post to verify whether I am or not, if I'm in town or not. Also like to thank Malcolm, our guy running our TriCaster over there. He grabs the camera whenever it goes wonky, right? Can I get it to go wonky here? No, I guess it's locked down now. And the camera works off of AI sometimes with hand signals. And if I make my gestures, because I'm a paisan, I like to talk to my hands. I got to kind of sit on them so that I don't get the camera to go rolling around. And I want to thank all you guys out there for liking, subscribing, and watching our channel. So hopefully you heard us loud and clear this time. I hope you liked the presentation that we got going on, the visuals. We'll have more for that, and we will just continue to get better and better and keep you entertained and keep you informed on what's going on in the air traffic system. Right, Fred? Anything else?
Of course, I definitely don't want to be wonky.
We don't want to be wonky. So, bye from me, bye from Fred. There it goes. There it goes. It's on its way, making its group.
Following my hand.
Yeah,
Live
following
long
my
and
hand.
prosper.
We'll see you all. Thank you for joining us. You have a great, great weekend. Happy 4th of July if I don't get to say it to you next week.
Happy wonky.